Hi, I'm Jerry Matthews of the Book Boss crew. You know, a couple of decades ago, the British Columbia Scientific Cryptozoology Club and my group, West Coast Sasquatch Research, were approached by a production company with the idea of making a TV pilot. It was supposed to be about the Sasquatch researchers in British Columbia. So, myself, John Kirk, Adam McGear, and Thomas Steenberg headed out to Vancouver Island to do an interview with a witness and revisit the area of her sighting. The intent of the production was to show the realities of investigation and research, and I think that the four of us did a fairly good job at getting that point across. However, the production source decided to go with a more action-packed type series which portrayed Sasquatch investigation as being about night vision, flares, thermals, wood knocks and vocals, and hosted by two chaps with the improbable names of Cliff and Bobo. I wonder whatever happened to them. Anyway, coming in at number 7 in the Summer Sizzle series is Making a Pilot. Take a peek and enjoy.
I mean, you can't go into a situation like this being a yes man just because you want to believe. I'd be just as happy personally to prove Bigfoot doesn't exist. I'd be just as happy to be able to go and find out what makes those footprints in the backcountry, how they're made, and when that is solved, I'll be happy.
I feel like the Sasquatch could be the rumored missing link between us and our primate ancestors.
Well, 90% of the population think we're all crazy, which is understandable because according to the majority of the population of Canada and most of North America, the Sasquatch is a creature of myth and mythology.
What kind of morons go out into the bush and put fake feet impressions in places where people are going to find them? It's just nuts. Nobody's going to find them.
If it's mechanically done or whatever, how do you get that machinery up into the back bush?
Yeah, exactly.
To put these footprints under logs, under trees.
And with other cryptids, I feel like there are enough sightings that something must be out there that we haven't yet discovered.
I believe that there is a Sasquatch out there, and I've heard that screeching and the pounding and the communication. It came back and forth for nights on end.
I also think they're extremely intelligent, and that's how they've managed to only see us when they want to see us.
This woman, Andrea, who works in Sea Shelter and lives in Half Moon Bay, had a figure walk in front of her car on her way home. She contacted me a couple of days after it happened. I came out, I interviewed her husband, and I went to the sighting location and did an investigation. And I came to the conclusion that I think the lady was quite sincere in what she saw, and that she was not making it up.
Actually, back in the 1960s, there were some surveyors looking at Chapman Creek here, and they actually had several encounters along the length of Chapman Creek, which, as you can see, is not that far from our sighting location. But they actually sighted two beige-colored individuals that were seeming to be pulling up lilies in the creek bed.
You actually did the preliminary interview with her. Did you find her absolutely credible or not?
I found her testimony absolutely credible. I mean, this woman was very emotionally affected by what she saw.
Hi, my dear. Remember me?
Yeah.
How are you? Great to see you again.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming. We were traveling north towards our house, and out of the right-hand side corner of my eye, I saw a big black creature, looked like a man, completely covered in hair, coming down what looked like the side of a hill. He moved very quickly across the highway. His strides were very purposeful. I think I counted and can recall counting in my head 5 strides to get all the way across the highway. And then as I pulled up towards where he had gone into an opening of the woods, I saw the back of him, and he just disappeared into the woods.
John here's has a program, kind of like a, well, how would you describe it? Like a police...
It's like a police identikit or a composite thing where we can take various features of Sasquatch. There's so many different descriptions of it, and we'll try and build one that Andrea recognizes. Yeah. So let's start off with the body type. Now, the first one we have here is an ape-like body, right? And then we'll go to the next one, which is a female because it has breasts.
No.
No. This is a heavy, thick type. Or there's a hunched, stooped type, a medium or average build, and there's a thin build.
I would go back to the medium or average.
The medium or average, okay. That's better,
Yeah,
eh?
that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So let's go for that body type. Quite an impressive character, isn't he? Look at all the musculature.
Yeah.
He's even got a six-pack. He's been working out. Okay. Let's try and do the head. Now, as you can see there, this is a head that I personally wouldn't think a Sasquatch would have, but what do you think?
I think it was flatter across the top.
Flat across the top.
Yeah.
You saw what looked like black hair, is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was black.
So we can do hair lengths of different lengths. You can
Okay.
see here he looks like a mini fur coat,
I
or
would
he's
go-
wearing a lamb's wool blanket.
Yeah.
That's very hairy there.
Okay, quite black though. Can you make it black?
I can change the color, sure. If you tell me which of the hair lengths. So this is like basic,
yeah,
very little
no.
hair. I think this is about as dark
Dark
as
as
it
we're gonna
gets on
get,
this
yeah.
program, yeah.
Okay.
So I think we've arrived at a conclusion here that this is a pretty good identikit, considering it was in the evening, it was in the dark. You've done very well. Your powers of observation have been very good.
It was terrifying, like I could never even describe how terrifying it was at the time. It was a feeling that I had never felt before in my life. I literally physically got ill.
She came home and she had phoned before she got there, and she said, I just spotted a Sasquatch or a great big something cross the highway. And she was just a complete basket case. I says, well, get home and tell me about it when you get here. Don't panic, just hang up the phone and get here. So she had, and she came in the door and she was like white as a ghost.
What do you think of your outlook on the world today? You were driving down the road and everything was quite normal in your life, day-to-day routine. All of a sudden, myth becomes reality and poof, right in your face kind of thing.
I feel like I have an understanding of the actual being itself, and I have no way of explaining to you, but I know certain things that nobody can tell me didn't happen. When he came out, he had a purpose. There was something wrong in his life, and he needed to get something. There was either somebody that was sick or somebody that was hurt that was in his group, and he had to cross the road at that time.
But see how the brush is here? When I saw it, it looked like it was coming down a hill. So what it could have been doing,
it was. It is.
Right, it is a hill, but I thought it was a
But you
little
can never
more
look at
steep.
this kind of brush because this stuff changes from year to year, you know.
It's further down.
We found it.
It's not really white, it's just because of the shadow.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. This is where the thing came out.
That's where it came out.
You look at how thick that brush is. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Anything to get through that, it'd be absolutely astonishing.
Right. And
I
you were
can't
coming.
believe it.
You were coming that way.
Yeah.
And it was just at the end of the headlights, and you saw it come out from around where this tree is,
Right.
and it crossed sort of like on an angle, and it dropped down right over there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
So it's the opposite arm.
So it's a very deliberate knees bent sort of walk.
But the opposite arm. And the
Yeah.
arms are swinging, so it's propelling at the same time.
Yeah. They were
Gone right to the edge.
Yeah, 9. So whatever did this, right? I'm stretching, I'm going to the max I can without tearing my groin, right? Coming across here. Anything that did this is beyond 7 foot tall. Has to be, because there's no way in heck, you know, a guy of my size could have gone any further than that. I would have been doing the splits. Yeah, pretty thick. We decided that we would install a camera trap on the off chance, and you don't get any pictures of Sasquatches on camera traps, but you've got to try anyway. You've got to use every available tool. Now, if this is a possible migration route, if this is a route that it commonly takes to go and find food, foraging in the forest on this side, you actually go down to the sea if it's trying to catch fish or whatever it is, there's a possibility that one might wander through this bush area. And that's what we're hoping for by installing that camera.
I really thought Andrea's story was incredible, just in the sense that she doesn't seem to have any real reason why she would make up such a story. In fact, it took her some time to come to terms with the fact that this had happened to her. So she doesn't have a book to sell. She's not trying to promote tourism in the region. So I have no reason not to believe her.
My mind is completely open. I think that everybody should have their mind open. I think that with me coming forward and being the person that I am, and I'm absolutely telling the truth, and this happened, and there's, you know, people need to be aware that this is what's out there. We need to be very, very careful, and we need to guard them and protect them. And if we do see them reporting, it's great, but I would hope to God that nobody would kill anything.